Have you ever wondered why some people in their 70s and 80s still climb stairs with ease, tend their garden every morning, and live comfortably on their own, while others of the same age feel life has quietly slipped out of their hands? It's tempting to say it's all down to good genes. But if you ask the experts, or better yet, the independent retirees themselves, they'll tell you a different story. The real secret is simpler, quieter, and far more powerful. The daily choices we make when nobody's watching. Take Mr. Allen, for example, a retired postman from Oregon. At 78, he still wakes up before the sun, makes his own coffee, and takes a 2-mile walk to pick up the newspaper, even though he doesn't have to. He doesn't do it to impress anyone. He's not trying to look young or chase some past version of himself. He's doing it because it's who he's always been, a man who keeps moving, who stays connected to the world around him, who understands that independence is not given, it's earned. And Allen didn't suddenly become that man at 75. He built those habits gradually, decades ago, with small but powerful decisions that added up over time, always choosing the stairs instead of the elevator, making home-cooked meals instead of relying on fast food, taking time to read and reflect, even when life was busy, choosing relationships over isolation. Now, let's be clear. Not everyone starts in the same place. Some people have faced injuries, chronic conditions, or caregiving responsibilities that made it hard to put themselves first. That's real, and it deserves compassion. But even so, we all have moments, tiny windows, where we can nudge ourselves towards strength instead of surrender. That's what this video is about, not miracle cures or expensive supplements, not a silver bullet to turn back the clock. It's about protecting what matters most, your freedom, your confidence, and your dignity, and doing it in ways that are realistic, sustainable, and proven to work. Because here's something most people don't realize. We don't lose our independence because we get old. We lose it because we stop moving. We stop challenging ourselves. We let fear creep in, and we forget what our bodies and minds are capable of. And sometimes we fall into a quiet trap. It goes like this: I've worked hard my whole life. I deserve to rest now. And you do. Rest is important, but inactivity is different. Inactivity is a thief of muscle, of memory, of confidence. Every time we say, "I'll do it tomorrow," we're unknowingly handing over a little piece of our autonomy. But here's the good news. Just like small habits can lead us into decline, they can also lead us out of it. And it's never too late to start. Even a few changes today can create momentum. You might not notice it tomorrow or even next week, but give it a month, and you'll feel it. You'll walk a little taller, breathe a little deeper, think a little clearer. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn why muscle loss isn't the main reason older adults lose mobility, and what actually is. A 5-minute bedtime ritual that could dramatically reduce your risk of falls, and the one overlooked mental habit that predicts long-term independence better than any physical exercise. This isn't about perfection. It's about small, doable wins. It's about saying, I may be aging, but I am not giving up. So before we dive into the strategies, let's talk about one of the biggest myths about growing older. Because until we challenge this idea, real change can't begin. Let's start by confronting a myth that quietly eats away at the confidence of millions of older adults. Losing independence is just a natural part of aging. You've probably heard it said, maybe even said it yourself. It usually comes up when someone is struggling with everyday tasks they used to handle easily, climbing stairs, getting up from the couch, remembering appointments. And instead of questioning why it's happening, we shrug and say, well, I guess I'm just getting old. But here's what the science says. Age isn't the cause, it's the excuse. What we often blame on age is more accurately caused by disuse, inactivity, and sometimes even outdated beliefs about what's appropriate or safe for older adults. In other words, we stop doing things so we lose the ability to do them. Muscles shrink, balance fades, memory softens. But it's not some invisible hand pulling strings, it's the absence of practice. Dr. Martha Keller, a geriatric physiotherapist who's worked with hundreds of patients over 70, says it this way. Most people don't lose their independence because they get weak. They lose it because they stop moving in ways that challenge them, even a little. And this is where the myth becomes dangerous. Because when you believe decline is inevitable, you stop fighting for the parts of your life that matter most. You give up the daily walk, you stop reaching overhead, you rely on others before you really need to. And slowly, the walls close in. But let's flip the script for a moment. Imagine a woman in her late 60s. Let's call her Doreen. She's had 2 knee surgeries, arthritis in her hands, and she lives alone since her husband passed. By all measures, she should be slowing down, but she's not. She still goes to Tai Chi every Tuesday. She's got resistance bands hooked to her door frame. She tracks her water intake and practices a simple breathing routine every morning. And here's the thing. Doreen didn't grow up doing these things. She learned them after retirement because she made the choice to keep learning, to stay curious and to stay active, even in new ways. That's the truth. Independence is a skill. And like any skill, it can be practiced, improved, and strengthened over time. Yes, there are limits. Yes, we age. But within that process is an incredible amount of control. Think about it this way. Your body is like a car. If you leave it in the garage, parts start to rust, the battery drains, the tires go flat. But if you take it out regularly, give it fuel, and keep the parts moving, it lasts a lot longer than you'd expect. So if the myth is that aging equals decline, the truth is that movement, engagement, and mindset are the real drivers of independence. And there's something else that often gets overlooked: balance. We talk a lot about strength in later life, and that's important. But do you know what causes the most emergency room visits for seniors? Falls. Not from being weak, from losing balance. And balance doesn't just go away. It atrophies when we don't challenge it. We'll dive deeper into that shortly, including a few simple exercises you can do at home, no gym required, that can literally retrain your body to stay upright, stable, and safe. These aren't workouts. They're small movements with big payoffs. But before we get there, we need to address something even more powerful than the body: the mind. Because the first sign of giving up your independence often isn't physical, it's mental. It's that little voice that says, "Why bother?" Or, "That's too hard," or, "I'll just ask someone else to do it." It sneaks in, quietly, and before long, it starts making decisions for you. But there's a way to fight back. In the next section, we'll explore the surprising link between independence and self-talk, how optimism, yes, optimism, correlates with better aging outcomes, and a simple way to rewire your mindset daily that psychologists swear by. Because before you change your habits, you've got to change your beliefs. And belief, my friend, is where independence truly begins. If the body keeps you moving, the mind keeps you motivated. And when it comes to maintaining independence, your mindset might just be your most powerful tool. Let's start with something simple, but often misunderstood: self-talk. Most of us talk to ourselves all day long, whether we realize it or not. A little internal commentary here, a quiet judgment there. But as we age, that voice can shift. It can grow doubtful, even fearful. We start hearing things like, "I probably shouldn't try that at my age. I'm too old to learn something new. If I fall, it's over." These thoughts don't just float by. They plant roots. They shape what we believe we're capable of, and those beliefs directly influence our actions. The result? We try less, we move less, we challenge ourselves less, and that's when decline really begins. Now, here's the science behind it. Researchers at Yale University conducted a groundbreaking study that followed older adults over many years. They found that those with positive beliefs about aging lived an average of 7.5 years longer than those with negative beliefs, even when accounting for diet, exercise, and medical history. Let that sink in. Your mindset doesn't just affect how you feel, it affects how you age, positively or negatively. So how do we start shifting that internal dialogue? You don't need affirmations taped to your mirror, though you can if it helps. What you really need is a habit of awareness and redirection. Here's a simple technique called the catch and pivot method. Catch the negative thought when it pops up. I'm too old to start walking regularly. Pivot it into something constructive. My body might need more warming up than before, but it still works, and I'm grateful for that. This isn't about being unrealistically cheerful. It's about being intentionally empowering. Now let's take this further. Did you know that one of the best predictors of long-term independence is a sense of purpose? It's true. People who believe they still have something meaningful to contribute, whether to their family, community, or themselves, are far more likely to stay mentally sharp, physically active, and socially engaged. That purpose can be anything. Teaching your grandchildren how to cook, volunteering at a local shelter, learning a new language, or even tending to your garden with pride. One gentleman I worked with, Raymond, lost his wife at 72 and fell into a deep fog of depression. But one day, his daughter asked him to teach her 10-year-old son how to play chess, something Raymond used to love but hadn't touched in years. That small request reignited something. Today, Raymond teaches chess once a week at the local library. He's 80 now. His memory is sharp, his balance is solid, and his doctor says he's in better health than he was at 70, all because he found a reason to keep going. Purpose brings structure. It gets you out of bed, it creates routines and expectations, and most importantly, it makes you feel needed, a feeling that many older adults tragically lose when they retire or face major life transitions. But here's the truth: your wisdom, your stories, your skills, they're not relics. They're resources, valuable ones. And the moment you believe that, your whole posture changes. Now, pair that belief with one simple daily action, and you've got the foundation for a powerful shift. Try this. Every night before bed, ask yourself one question. What did I do today that made me feel strong, connected, or useful? You might be surprised at what comes up. Helping a neighbor carry groceries, calling an old friend, stretching for 10 minutes before your walk. These aren't small things. They're signs you're choosing engagement over erosion. And when you repeat that question nightly, something starts to happen. Your mind starts looking for those moments throughout the day, and the more you find them, the more they grow. So if you want to stay independent, don't just strengthen your legs, strengthen your perspective. In the next section, we'll bring it back to the physical. You'll learn the top 3 movements that help prevent falls, no gym required, how to test your own balance safely at home, and why just 60 seconds a day of a particular posture can make a big difference in your stability, because now that your mindset is primed, it's time to get moving. Let's get practical. Now that your mindset is aligned with the truth that independence is built, not lost, it's time to reconnect with your body. And no, I don't mean training for a marathon or hitting the weight rack. I mean something much more important: reclaiming your balance, mobility, and confidence through simple, consistent movement. Here's something most doctors won't tell you until it's too late. The number 1 cause of injury-related hospitalizations in older adults isn't heart attacks or even strokes, it's falls. 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls each year. But here's the catch. Most of those falls could have been prevented, not by lifting heavier weights, but by training the body to stay upright. That's where balance, posture, and reaction time come in. So, let's break down the 3 most powerful, no equipment needed exercises you can do at home to protect yourself. 1. The single leg stand. This one sounds simple, and it is, but it's also deeply effective. How to do it? Stand near a sturdy chair or countertop. Gently lift one foot off the ground and balance on the other. Hold for up to 30 seconds, then switch. Why it works. This challenges your ankle stability, core muscles, and proprioception, the body's ability to sense its position in space. Pro tip: close your eyes to increase the difficulty, only if safe. Even 1 minute a day, 30 seconds per leg, can strengthen the neural pathways that keep you steady when life throws unexpected wobbles. 2. Sit to stand. It's more than just getting up from a chair. It's a full-body movement that trains your thighs, hips, and core, the same muscles you need to use the toilet, climb stairs, or get out of bed. How to do it? Sit on a sturdy chair with your arms crossed over your chest. Stand up slowly without using your hands, then sit back down with control. Repeat 10 times. Why it works? It reinforces lower body strength, balance, and coordination all at once. If 10 reps feels too hard at first, start with 3. Consistency matters more than quantity. 3. Wall posture. Hold. This one is a silent hero. Poor posture leads to imbalance, aches, and a higher risk of tripping. But when you realign your spine and retrain your shoulders, your entire frame becomes more stable. How to do it? Stand with your back against a wall, heels a few inches out. Press the back of your head, shoulders, and buttocks into the wall. Tuck your chin slightly and hold for 60 seconds. Why it works? It reinforces spinal alignment, improves shoulder mobility, and teaches your body what upright really feels like. Now, you might be thinking, that's it? Yes, that's it. The goal isn't to exhaust yourself. The goal is to activate the muscles that keep you upright, aligned, and moving freely. These are functional movements, meaning they directly translate into real-life independence. Want to make it even easier? Create a 5-minute stability ritual that includes 1 minute, wall posture hold 2 minutes, sit to stand reps 2 minutes, single leg balance 1 minute each side, done. 5 minutes. And you're sending a clear signal to your body, I'm not done. I still need you to work for me. And here's the bonus. These movements also improve something deeply underrated: your confidence. When you know you're stable, you walk taller, you reach farther, you stop bracing for the worst. That psychological shift alone can change the way you experience every moment of your day. But remember, it's not about perfection. If you miss a day, don't quit. If one leg shakes more than the other, don't worry. Progress isn't always visible. It's felt in your steps, in your breath, in your peace of mind. In the next section, we're going to tie these ideas together into something powerful: daily rhythm. Because scattered habits don't change your life, but daily rituals, they anchor it. You'll learn how to build a daily routine around your energy levels, not against them. The golden hour technique for maximizing mornings in retirement, and one overlooked habit that improves both physical and mental clarity in under 10 minutes. Let's make your days flow with purpose, energy, and ease. Let's talk about rhythm, not music, but the gentle pulse of your daily life. In our working years, routine is forced upon us: alarms, commutes, meetings, deadlines. But in retirement, that structure fades, and for many people, so does their sense of direction. Here's the truth: without rhythm, we drift. Without structure, we stagnate. But with the right daily flow, your energy rises, your clarity sharpens, and your body starts to work with you, not against you. Think of your day like a garden. Certain things need sunlight in the morning, others need rest in the afternoon, and if you water everything at midnight, nothing grows right. So let's build a rhythm that works for your body, your mind, and your lifestyle. Something gentle but powerful, like a well-worn path you can follow each day without stress. Step 1. Discover your golden hour. Most older adults have one window during the day when their energy peaks. For many, it's mid-morning, roughly 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is your golden hour. During this window, your brain is clearer, your joints are looser, and your mood is usually steadier. It's the perfect time to do something intentional. Take your daily walk or do your balance routine. Plan your meals or prep something healthy. Call a friend or schedule a doctor's appointment. This hour isn't about being busy, it's about being deliberate. What you do in your golden hour sets the tone for the rest of your day. If you use it well, you'll feel more accomplished, more grounded, and more likely to stay active. Step 2. Anchor your meals and movement. Next, let's place gentle anchors in your day. Predictable points where movement and nourishment intersect. This might look like morning, light stretches before breakfast, plus a protein-rich meal. Midday, a short walk or simple posture hold before lunch. Evening, 5-minute reflection journaling plus herbal tea. These anchors don't need to be intense. In fact, they should feel so natural that skipping them feels odd, like forgetting to brush your teeth. One man I interviewed, Harold, 84, told me, "I treat my balance routine like coffee. I don't have to do it, but I feel weird when I don't." That's the goal, gentle discipline that supports freedom, not restricts it. Step 3. Honor the power of transitions. In later life, transitions between morning and afternoon, between activity and rest, can either be foggy or intentional. Try these simple rituals to create smooth transitions. After lunch, sit by a window for 5 minutes. Breathe, digest, reflect. Before bed, light a candle or play soft music, signal to your body that the day is winding down. After phone calls or social time, walk around the house for 2 minutes. Let the energy settle. You'll be amazed how these micro moments reduce stress, improve sleep, and elevate mood. Step 4. The 10-minute morning reset. Here's one of the most overlooked habits that improves both mental and physical health, the mindful morning reset. Before emails, before news, before the noise, spend 10 minutes doing these 3 things. Hydrate, drink a full glass of water to wake up your brain and joints. Move, gentle shoulder rolls, toe touches, or your wall posture hold. Set intention. Ask yourself, what would make today feel meaningful? This doesn't have to be poetic or profound. Maybe it's calling your granddaughter. Maybe it's taking a walk without rushing. Maybe it's just making your own breakfast instead of relying on packaged food. Intention brings dignity to the smallest actions. And in later life, dignity is everything. Now you might wonder, what if I fall off track? What if I wake up tired, or the weather's bad, or I just don't feel like it? Here's the rule: forgive quickly, resume gently. Skip a day? Fine. Just start again tomorrow. No guilt, no lectures. Rhythm isn't rigidity, it's a flow, and flow always allows a return. In the next section, we're going to expand this daily rhythm into something larger, a lifestyle of joy, connection, and legacy. You'll learn how to build social rituals that combat loneliness, why sharing your wisdom may be your greatest health tool, and how your golden years can still be your most impactful years if you choose to show up fully. Because independence isn't just about movement or mindset, it's also about meaning. Independence isn't just the ability to stand, walk, and take care of yourself. It's the freedom to live life on your terms, to contribute, connect, and continue growing. And for that, we need something that's often forgotten in conversations about aging: community. You see, we spend so much time talking about physical decline in older age, how to avoid injury, how to stay mobile. that we sometimes forget the real threat is isolation. It creeps in slowly. A friend moves away, a spouse passes, the kids are busy, church groups get smaller. Suddenly, the phone rings less, days stretch longer, meals are quieter, and one day you wake up and realize you're going through life in a kind of quiet loneliness that no amount of television can drown out. This is not just sad, it's dangerous. According to the CDC, social isolation increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even dementia. In fact, chronic loneliness can be as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But here's the good news. Just like muscles, connections can be rebuilt, and they don't require dozens of friends or a full social calendar. They require intentional presence, the willingness to show up for others and allow others to show up for you. Let's look at a few simple ways to rekindle connection in your golden years, each one designed to strengthen your sense of purpose, belonging, and joy. 1. Start a weekly ritual. Humans crave routine, and shared routines become bonds. That could be Sunday tea with a neighbor, a phone call with your sister every Wednesday at 10 a.m., a short walk with someone from your community once a week. It doesn't have to be deep or long, it just needs to be consistent. Over time, it creates a rhythm of connection, something to look forward to, and something others look forward to with you. 2. Share your story. You carry decades of wisdom, experience, and perspective, and someone out there needs it. Whether it's teaching a grandchild how to change a tire, mentoring a young neighbor through a career change, or writing down family stories in a journal, sharing your story creates legacy. And it does something else too. It reminds you that your life still has weight, that you're still here to shape the world around you, even if it's just one person at a time. There's a quiet power in being asked, "Can you show me how?" Never underestimate it. 3. Learn something new. Yes, even now. Learning keeps the brain sharp, the spirit lively, and the days more interesting. Maybe it's a new recipe, maybe it's Spanish, maybe it's how to use that smartphone your son gave you. A woman named Joan, 82, who'd never painted a day in her life, took a watercolor class last year. Not only did she discover a love for color and creativity, she made 4 new friends in the process. She calls them her brush buddies. What matters isn't the skill, it's the act of engagement. Learning makes you feel alive. 4. Volunteer, even in small ways. Purpose doesn't need applause, sometimes it just needs presence. Reading to children at the library, writing birthday cards to soldiers, helping a neighbor organize their garage. Small actions, big ripples. In fact, studies show that seniors who volunteer even just once a month report higher levels of happiness, lower stress, and improved physical health. Because when you help others, you're reminded of your own strength. 5. Let people help you too. This one's harder, especially if you've always been the strong one. But letting someone else carry a bag, make you a meal, or simply sit with you when you're down, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. Connection isn't a one-way street. And sometimes giving others the chance to care for you is the greatest gift you can give them. The truth is, the final piece of independence isn't solitude. It's interdependence, choosing to stay active and self-reliant while also staying open to love, help, and shared moments. You are not a burden. You are not a leftover. You are not done. You are still becoming. In the final section, we'll bring it all together. One last story to inspire your next step, a summary of the tools you now carry, and a powerful reminder of what it really means to live fully in your golden years. Because this isn't just about surviving, it's about shining. Let me tell you a story. When Margaret turned 80, her son bought her a rocking chair. "You've earned it," he said. "Now it's time to just relax." And for a few weeks she did. She'd sit on the porch, sip her tea, watch the world go by. It was peaceful at first. but something felt off. Days blurred together. Her energy dipped. She started forgetting little things. One morning she looked out at her overgrown garden, something she'd always cared for, and realized she hadn't touched it in weeks. That's when it hit her. She hadn't really retired. She'd started fading. That same afternoon she stood up, walked out to the garden, and started pulling weeds. Just 5 minutes. But that small act reminded her she wasn't done growing. Not yet. Fast forward 6 months. Margaret joined a gardening club, made new friends, and even began teaching local kids how to grow tomatoes and basil. She still had the rocking chair, but now she used it to rest after a full day, not as the main event. Margaret didn't change the world, but she changed her world. And at 80, that's more than enough. So let's pause here, because you've now gathered tools, insights, and stories designed to do exactly that, help you change your world. You've learned that independence isn't guaranteed, but it is earned through daily action. That your mindset, not your birth date, often determines your mobility and confidence. That simple movements like sit-to-stands or wall posture holds can be more powerful than fancy machines. That the way you structure your day shapes your energy, motivation, and mood. That connection to others, to purpose, to learning is not just a nicety, it's a necessity. But more than anything, I hope you've learned this. You still matter, not just to your family or to your past accomplishments or in memory, but right now, in this moment, in the quiet space of your daily life. Every step you take to move your body matters. Every new skill you try matters. Every conversation, every laugh, every moment of reflection, it all adds up. Because these golden years, they're not the end of your story. They're the chapter where you become the sage, the guide, the one who walks a little slower, yes, but with wisdom in every step. So here's what I invite you to do next. 1. Choose one habit, just one. Maybe it's the single leg stand. Maybe it's a morning walk. Maybe it's journaling before bed or calling a friend every Friday. Start small, start now. Let consistency do the heavy lifting. 2. Share this with someone else. Connection grows stronger when it's shared. If something in this message helped you, pass it on. Not just because it helps them, but because teaching reinforces your own learning. 3. Reflect on your legacy, then live it. Legacy isn't what you leave behind after you're gone. It's the example you set while you're still here. Your strength, your kindness, your courage to keep moving forward, someone's watching. Let your life speak. And if you ever find yourself doubting, remember Margaret, remember Alan, remember Doreen, and remember you. You're not slowing down, you're just changing gears. And there's still a beautiful road ahead.